Welcome to episode 4 of the lag stream. I'm joined once again with your boy Cody.
Hello, I'm back again, guys.
Don't sound so enthused.
Yeah, I know. Might get fired someday. I might not be here.
Someday you're fired tonight.
Oh man. Well, stream's over, guys. Well, later.
Yeah. Tonight we're on H1 for no reason, just to see me get billed. I guess I don't. I don't know.
Should be fun. I can't wait to watch this.
So, what do you got for us today?
So today's topic is going to be future tech, whether it be like in like next 5 years, 10 years, 50 years, whatever. Just like some crazy technology out there that we think is coming along that's going to be pretty, I guess world changing, so to speak, or like change a lot how like the industry works, so to speak. So I guess would you like to start us off?
Sure, why not?
All right.
So, I'm gonna attempt to go like from like closest to being like a thing to like
The farthest
way
off.
yeah to like way
Yeah.
far in the future. So like one thing that like is we're actually fairly close is like just like smart. I mean we have smart glasses, okay, but like
Yeah.
not really
Very
good. Like they're not
yeah.
good smart glasses. Let's
Like
be real.
they're primitive, essentially smart glasses. So to
But I
speak.
mean, like, basically, one of the things I really want to see is Microsoft HoloLens, but like built into just regular ass sun or not even sunglasses, but just like regular ass glasses.
It'd be pretty sweet to just like actually walk around, just like see like your email or like a YouTube video or something like that when you're walking down like the street. You know, because you could have like your AirPods or whatever, like wireless pods linked up with your headset. You can just sit there watching videos. People wouldn't even know.
Yeah, it'd be
You're
amazing.
sitting there watching Netflix or something. It'd be great. Man, you could slack off in class so much.
Oh
It'd be
yeah, I
amazing.
mean, because already, like, honestly, so one of the things, like, one of the rules for the like digital learning place in the like college where we
Mhm.
have to take tests. Um,
Yeah.
wow, my game just started with 30 people. But anyway, one of the rules is that like you can't have any like devices on you when you go in to take the test. But
Hmm.
they never make me take my smartwatch off.
Yeah.
I have it on every time. So honestly, if I really wanted to, I could have somebody sitting there and like feeding me answers to my smartwatch. Of course, I don't because like also like the backpack storage is like within Bluetooth distance of the computers.
Potentially it is. Like if you're on like the far side of the room, you probably couldn't get it. But like there's definitely some if you get lucky, you probably could.
Yeah. Um, so I mean, like, I don't even know where I was going with that to be honest. But oh, like they have to have better rules and stuff when we get to that point. Like better.
Like, well, yeah, like better protocols essentially to
Yeah, I'd be like, oh, you
prevent it.
you can't wear glasses.
Yeah. Well,
Which that
like
would be
and
messed
this sounds
up.
kind of
But
like this might sound like I guess like a little bit overboard, but what they could do is essentially surround make it so like the room has like a copper like mesh around the through the entire room, in the walls, essentially preventing all like foreign access, like wireless communication. I mean, you could do that. It sounds pretty overkill, but you could do that in order to prevent like Bluetooth communications and stuff like that. I'm pretty sure. At least I
yeah,
know it blocks like all cell signal if you have like a copper mesh around something. So they might just have to do something like that. Just have a physical barrier. Otherwise, like I mean, obviously they could just be really strict about like all smartwatches and then like glasses. They have to like make sure like check to see if it's actually a smart one or not. But if it gets like to the point where they look the exact same, how are you supposed to tell? You know?
yeah. Which kind of leads into my next one, which is smart contact lenses, which are still, I assume, quite a ways away.
Yeah, I
Um,
think that's a lot farther than the smart glasses.
yeah, but I also think that would be like amazing because I mean, you think about it, we could probably end up to the point to where like your smart contact lenses would like just digitally like you could be able to like zoom in and stuff, which would be crazy.
Oh yeah, see that would actually be really cool. Like having essentially like built-in zoom into like your either glasses or contact lenses. That would be
Yeah.
that'd be so like ridiculous, man. Like
Yeah,
Cause then, like, honestly, hey, binoculars would be out of business, dude.
facts.
Who needs those?
So you heard it here first. Stop investing in binoculars.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. Short binoculars, guys.
Um,
Uh,
but one of the things that I thought was really interesting about smart contact lenses is that like if it worked the same way as like the HoloLens or glasses or whatever, where it just like overlaid stuff onto your vision.
yeah.
You know how crazy like AR, like augmented reality games would be?
Yeah, yeah. You could get
Shit,
some.
shit would look like it's just really sitting there in the world.
Yeah, it would be pretty insane. Like the amount of like how in depth it would. Because like, the main issue right now is that like obviously like VR headsets are like like they're really big and clunky and stuff like that, and it really hurts like the immersion, so to speak. Whereas like if you just have like contact lens you put on, it just changes everything in the world. It's like, oh, like because then you're like it literally is just you. Like there's no need for like a huge clunky piece of hardware like to make you feel like you're in the world, so to speak.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it'd be pretty huge, I think. How far off do you think those that actually would be, like in years, for like the glasses and the lenses?
I would say the glasses within like 10 to 15. But I would
Okay.
say
At, like
the
what level? Because obviously we still have like glasses already that can kind of do some things.
Yeah,
but,
I would
at
say,
what
like,
point are they like to the
I
point?
would say like the level that I was talking about, to where like it's pretty much seamless. Like
Okay.
it's as good as it gets. I think
Yeah.
that
Gotcha.
is. I think it's about 10 to 15. I don't know. I would hope that'd be awesome.
Yeah. Yeah. So yeah, what I think the main issue with like both the glasses and the contact lenses, like the main like thing holding them back, I guess, is actually making batteries that can like actually be small enough to be portable like that, and like be really small, like so it looks like regular glasses, but then while also like having enough charge to like last a whole day or whatever. Because like honestly, I don't see like just space for a battery, like especially in contact lenses. Where's the battery, man?
Yeah.
See, that's to me that's the main like feasibility issue that I just like that instantly jumps out to me is like where's the power come from? If it's like projecting images and like zooming stuff in, like it's gotta have a power source somewhere. So unless there was like some crazy like this could almost go to someone else's like another like topic, so to speak. It's just like the amount of like wireless charging, because we already have it for phones, right?
Yeah.
But it's obviously really short range and stuff like that. But if you could make it to the point where like you could like have something in your pocket, for example, or whatever, and then it could like charge all the way up to like your contact lenses and just keep it like essentially just not have a battery in them and just have it be a constant flow from like some battery pack somewhere else.
Yeah.
I think that could work. Because like, if we get a really good wireless like capabilities, that would make it a lot easier, I think.
Yeah. I think it'd be. I don't know. I think it'd be really awesome when we hit the point to where like maybe things don't even have to be charged anymore. Like there's a built-in battery that lasts for the lifetime.
Short electricity is really what you
Yeah, you heard it here first. Stop investing in electricity. But no, I mean like batteries that are like so powerful or like so long lasting that like we don't need it, or like at least like so efficient enough that like, because I mean you wear glasses outside, they get light, so I mean if the glasses were solar panels or whatever, I mean not solar panels, but you know what I'm saying.
If the glasses were solar panels.
Yeah, you were just walking around with solar panels on your face.
Oh man, that'd be great.
You would be a god.
Yeah, that would be pretty high quality. You wouldn't get any weird looks. No weird looks at all. No, honestly, when you said like the sunlight thing, I'm like, okay, well, what about like in a dark room? I thought to myself, man, they need to add like night vision for these things. Like,
hey, I mean that's a possibility.
That'd be pretty sweet. They'd like put night vision on the glasses too. Like, dude, that's pretty nice.
Can we take a moment to appreciate the fact that I'm in the top 6 in this lobby, running around with a pistol and a shotgun?
Yeah, I noticed how the circle just kept kind of coming to you, and you just kind of do whatever.
Yeah, I didn't get any loot from that place besides pistol ammo, so.
Yeah, I mean you're alive though, so that's what counts, man.
Yeah. Anyway, so yeah, so obviously smart contact lenses, efficient power from like sunlight, or
Hmm.
I mean, just efficient like battery usage, I guess.
And or wireless power, but yeah, like
Yeah,
any one of those things,
yeah.
or a combination, obviously, to make that happen. And then what's your timetable for the lenses?
Ooh, I don't even know. Those
'Cause
are,
I'm thinking like 30, 40
yeah,
years,
those are a ways.
easy. Like 50 maybe. Like honestly, that's some pretty crazy like tech to get it that small, you know.
Yeah.
Like we're already running like Intel's already running into problems with shrinking stuff down. Like there's gonna have to be some crazy breakthroughs for us to get technology that small and like that power efficient,
Yeah.
stuff like that to make it to the mainstream.
Boy,
Yeah.
it'd be nice if I could find some loot.
Yeah. Tends to help in this game. Yeah. Okay, so what's after those? After that, then I guess what's the next thing farther out? So if those are like 15 years and 40 years, then what's like a 50, 60 year crazy thing, so to speak? Or you want me to like name a few
Um,
things?
yeah, I mean, if you got something to name, name a
Alright,
couple.
well, there's one thing that like obviously this is like some stuff that's crazy out there that we're never gonna achieve unless like we become just, like superhumans basically. But basically if we ever create a Dyson ball around the sun, that would be like the pinnacle of like human achievement essentially. Because then we'd have limitless power essentially until the sun dies. And so if you don't know what a Dyson ball is, by the way, it's where you just take a solar array and just surround your like the sun of your solar system in theoretical. So obviously for us it's our sun directly, just surrounding it completely in solar panels to essentially just grab all of its energy like all the time. And so then you essentially have limitless power until the sun dies. So hopefully by then you could harvest enough electricity and just energy to build like some kind of a spacecraft to go to another sun and then do the same thing over there. Basically, just keep moving around suns to harvest all their power forever.
Yeah, yeah. Dyson Sphere. That's pretty out there.
Yeah, Dyson sphere. Is it called a sphere or ball? Or the same, I mean, same
Sphere.
thing.
That's called Dyson Sphere.
Sphere.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. So this is not sponsored by Dyson vacuums. Dyson spheres.
Hey, but it could be. Hit us up.
Yeah, Dyson. If you sponsor us though, we will. So that's okay. Anyways,
um,
um,
yeah, I think
yeah,
yeah, Dyson Sphere is pretty solid one.
yeah.
So what's
That's
your
like obviously like
what's your time
hundreds of
frame on
thousands of
that?
years.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm saying like that's like hundreds, thousands. Like that's so far out you can't even like just the amount of like advancements you need in order to make that work is so far out you can't even like estimate that. You just have to say it's at least 1,000 years. I bet at least like there's no like, you just can't fathom like that level of technology, really.
Yeah.
But yeah, it'd be pretty amazing though to do that. Especially like okay, when I think about like surrounding the entire sun with like the solar panels, right? I'm thinking to myself like, oh, that's a lot of power. But then I'm like thinking like I don't want to freeze to death. Like I hope they leave a hole in there, points towards the earth. Like you'll keep us some sunlight, dude.
Yeah.
Because obviously that could be a problem.
Yeah. One thing that oh, all right. One thing that kind of builds not off of that, but
Yeah.
sticking with like the power thing is that we're actually supposedly getting close to our first
Fusion?
our first positive net power fusion reactor.
That's good. That's really good because fusion has like, isn't it? How much more? Like, I have no idea how much more like times like of like power you get of the same amount of like energy, like the same amount of mass.
Yeah,
from fusion for
I'm
the
not
fission.
sure like what the percentage of like the power that you get out of it is.
Yeah.
But I know like because I mean we're capable of like initiating fusion already, but
Yeah, we can initiate
can't
it, yeah.
sustain it or like draw enough power out of it to make it efficient, like to make it worth our while.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
but supposedly we're close to that. I think
Yeah, I've heard a few
I
things
think-
about that.
yeah, I think they're like pushing to have it in like the next 20 years.
Yeah, like I mean, even
Well,
if
I mean,
if we're on
that's
a, like
that's That's actually kind of a meme in the scientific community, though, is that like, oh, we're 30 years away from nuclear fusion, but we're never that close.
Yeah, 1970, we're 20 years away from flying cars.
Yeah.
It's like, not quite. Yeah, like definitely fusion would be huge because well, I guess what I was trying to say earlier was that I'm pretty sure the amount of energy you can get out of the same amount of mass compared to fusion and fission is like just so much larger in fusion that like it would be revolutionary. You know, it would just obsolete all the fission reactors instantly. Basically.
Well, that and it gets its power from hydrogen, which is abundant. So
yeah, incredibly abundant. What percent of the atmosphere is hydrogen, anyways? It's a lot.
Not as much as nitrogen, but I don't know.
I was gonna say like nitrogen is like the biggest, like it's one of the biggest ones. I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, so fusion's actually pretty close. And then I'm gonna bring it back to tech because why not?
All right.
So I think I touched very briefly about this in a previous episode.
Okay.
Maybe, which is like that we are running out of ways to improve our current CPU. I don't want to say architecture, but our current like way of building CPUs, because like right now the most efficient way to increase the amount of work that we can do is just increase the number of cores on the CPU. Which obviously
telling AMD add more cores.
Yeah, I mean, but obviously it's good, but I mean sooner or later like you can't have chips that are like half your PC. I mean you could, but you shouldn't.
Yeah, ridiculous.
So like obviously one of the things they do is like build it on a smaller process. Right now I think Intel's working on manufacturing their 10 nanometer process. AMD is working on their I believe 7 nanometer process.
I know. AMD's working towards 7 nanometers.
Yeah.
I'm not entirely sure about.
I'm pretty sure Intel's supposed to release their 10 nanometers sooner or later. I think they got delayed. They're running into issues with it.
I just did a quick search and there's an article that says Intel delays like 10 nanometers to 2019. So like apparently they're still working on 10 nanometer stuff.
Yeah.
So.
And then I think they're trying or going to try and end up going all the way down to 5 nanometer processes, but
yeah, I don't know if it's theoretically possible beyond that level.
Any smaller than that, and you actually run into the issue of quantum
entanglement, right?
No, not quantum entanglement.
Quantum superposition. Is that what it's called?
Is it entanglement? Quantum.
It's superposition. It might be that. It's a thing where there's one thing that exists.
Quantum tunneling. That's what I was tunneling. Which is where like the electrons just start going through surfaces. So, like, and obviously that's bad because CPUs like the electron, like the electricity is
need to be consistent.
Is what causes like the on-off signal. So, and then the other thing that we currently do to increase the performance of CPUs is increase the number of instructions per cycle that we can do, or IPC. And we've actually, we've actually had some progress with the IPC lately. But I mean, you can only increase the amount of math you can do per clock cycle so much. But I should do way more preparation and research for this stuff, but some university research team,
no sources provided.
Yeah,
this is great.
Prototyped a carbon nanotube CPU, which is just basically multiple CPU chips layered on top of each other and then linked with carbon nanotubes to effectively create a 3D CPU.
Mm-hmm. And like, what was his limitation there? Like, what did he find? I guess like, what was the problem?
No idea.
Or where's the problem? Okay.
No, I mean, I think it was like, I think it was one of those things where it was like just like something they designed that should theoretically work, but they haven't. I don't think they've made any work towards it yet.
I gotcha.
Yeah, and then.
Yeah, like speaking with that for a second though, like my first question when I hear about like a 3D CPU, I'm like, okay, CPUs get hot. we gotta cool that thing in 3-dimensional space. And so, like, to me, it's like from the beginning they have to think about how they're gonna integrate like heat pipes essentially, like, you know, to get the heat out of the middle of the CPU, like the core of the CPU core. So, like, I don't know, I just think the design of that would be crazy because you'd have to like design tubes running straight through the CPU without like, you know, interrupting all the channels for like IO and all, you know, just all the buses basically.
Yeah.
It just sounds pretty nuts to me, like trying to cool that behemoth. Because right now it's just like, you know, a wafer is just flat to cool, which is pretty simple.
Yeah, you just slap something on the top of it and call it a day.
Yeah, dude. No, you don't even need to do that. Just turn it on. You just no paste, no no cooler. Just turn it on. We're
It's
good.
a bold strategy.
Just a bold strategy, dude. Oh man, you just put an egg on top of it and you just get cooking. You know, there you go. That's my cooler. Yeah, what were you gonna say after the CPUs? What's your next?
I was gonna say that like I was just gonna continue with computing with
Okay.
the fact that like we could also use well, I mean obviously we have like kind of like semi quantum computers already.
Yeah,
There's
like
there's
low,
some
kind of like
there's some
low end
debate on whether or not they're actually like
quantum.
I
Or
don't want
not?
to say like full quantum or not, but like whether they actually perform the tasks in like parallel, like the way quantum computing is supposed to.
Okay, like if it's not if it's not actual, like quote unquote actual quantum computing.
Yeah, but
It's
I don't
basically.
I don't know if the like I don't know if that debate's been settled yet or not. I haven't looked into it in a while.
Yeah, I haven't looked into that at all, so I wouldn't. Don't quote me on that. Maybe they're a lot farther ahead than I think.
Yeah.
But actually, that's another thing. Is that like with quantum computing, once that becomes a thing, like, what are they gonna do with encryption, dude? like, what's even gonna happen with like computer security? It's become insane. You know?
Yeah, I mean,
Because I almost feared a time where like everyone has to have a quantum computer, otherwise you're just gonna instantly like be hacked. You know what I'm saying? Like,
yeah, yeah, I'm not sure. Like, I
because
mean,
it's
honestly,
scary to think about. You know?
the thing about quantum computers is I think they have to like something like that. I believe they would have to like obviously like continually. They would have. I don't know if it would actually impact it that much because from what I understand about quantum computers, is you give it a problem like a set of parameters and it calculates like the like quantum computers aren't exact. They calculate like the probability of all outcomes and then like it basically tells you it chooses like the one with the best probability of being correct. So like I'm not sure what parameters you would give it in order to like hack
Okay.
the encryption. You know what I mean?
Okay. I don't know. Well, like from my basic like understanding of this, like looking into it like a long time ago. So don't quote me on this. But my understanding was that like basically the way it works is that it allows you to test like basically all or like a ton of different possibilities all like at the same time. And so because of that, it would make breaking passwords and like encryption much easier because it could test, you know, a ton of different possibilities all at once instead of just like one at a time and like brute forcing it essentially. Like basically it would allow you to brute force in an incredibly quick like rate. Is like basically my understanding as to why it's so bad.
Yeah,
More
but
or less.
at the same time, I mean, just put a limit on how many times you can guess.
Well, I mean, yeah, you still do that for sure. But I don't know. I still think it could potentially be a problem, but we'll see how how computer engineers and security experts figure out a way to, I guess, balance that, so to speak. Like actually have security while having these machines out there that can do crazy stuff like this. And same thing for like the Bitcoin like blockchain. Like if you have someone that can, like, if this thing can hash at like a ridiculous amount, then they could technically, if they get enough of them, you could just take over the entire blockchain. You know, if you get 51% of the hashing power, you control everything.
Dude,
So
where do I sign? How do I mail this?
there you go. The issue though is that if it ever happened, like the value of Bitcoin would just like collapse completely. If anyone ever took complete control of like the blockchain, you know, everyone would be like, "Well, it's worthless now." So good job, you know. No one would like respect its value. So I guess if you wanted to destroy Bitcoin, you could do that, you know, or any other cryptocurrency, for that matter, really. Speaking of like future stuff, so what do you think like the future of like Bitcoin and just cryptocurrencies in general is? Like, what do you think's gonna happen with them? Are they gonna like catch on? Are they just gonna die? Like, what do you think they're gonna do?
I don't really know because, to be honest, I never like bought into it anyway. Like from the get go, the concept just seemed weird to me.
Okay.
So I don't know. I don't want to say it's just gonna go away, but I guess I don't get. I still don't get exactly how like the money is backed, I guess is what I'm trying to say. Like what drives the price of Bitcoin?
Okay. What drives the price of Bitcoin? I mean, technically the only thing that drives it is people's belief that it has value. That's kind of true about any currency. It's the belief that it has value. Because like when you have a dollar, it's a piece of paper, you know.
Right,
like,
and I mean, but
like you know,
I mean, obviously up until like they stopped, our currency was backed by gold, which has like real world.
Yeah, that was like in the 20s though. That's been a long time.
Yeah, it has been a long time. I'm not saying it hasn't, but but I mean like I don't know. It just seems like there's nobody that's like backing Bitcoin, so to speak.
Okay.
Yo, this dude can
having a moment there, a game moment.
I can't like see this guy, but he can apparently see me. I don't even know where he's at.
Dude, hacking, man. Hacker man. But yeah, so I guess really the only thing that backs Bitcoin is the people's belief in its value, and because it's decentralized and nothing can really stop it. So to speak, like I guess that's kind of like the value that's presented is the fact that unless you completely shut down the internet, so to speak, you can't stop people from like sending money back and forth. You know, you can't stop people from doing a transaction.
Yeah, but I mean, like,
turn off the internet, so to speak. Whereas like governments can just say, "Oh, we just want to do no business with, like whatever country," and then now in the U.S. you just can't like no banks will take that money. You know, like it's instantly worthless in the United States. Whereas like with Bitcoin, you'd have to completely turn off the internet in order to like make it like worthless, so to speak. And it's obviously a pretty big move to just turn off the internet, like to do that. You know, so I guess there's kind of that. You don't have to worry about like government sanctions on other countries' money, so there's that value there. But I'm sure there's others. But I'm not a huge Bitcoin expert, so don't think that's every argument. I definitely don't know all the arguments. Yeah, what are your thoughts on that though? Like that reasoning?
I mean, I don't know. I'm not educated enough in Bitcoin to give much input, I guess.
All right. And obviously, when we say Bitcoin, we mean basically any cryptocurrency.
Well, yeah, I mean,
like,
any...
the most known one. Yeah,
which is another thing. Like, there's so damn many of them. Like, choose one and go with it.
Yeah, that's true. They definitely have a lot of them, and it's not really a bad thing to have a lot of the competition, so to speak. But there definitely needs to be like I guess a few that come out on tops, and we can like I guess adopt at a larger scale. You know, because if there's just like a bazillion other things, like it's going to be impossible for like the companies and like people you want to buy stuff from, you know, like to adopt to support every single currency, you know, but there has to be like a few that like a large percentage of the market can get behind and like actually like utilize. Otherwise, it's kind of it's a losing fight, so to speak. If there's like 10 new currencies coming out a day, it's like, well, we can't just keep adding these every day. We'd be adding them forever. So.
Yeah. Anyway, so
yeah.
Continuing with future techs.
Yeah, what other future techs out there that you are looking forward to?
I mean, we can go super crazy and talk about DNA computing.
You mentioned this earlier, and I was kind of just like, what? So can you explain this again?
Yeah, I'll attempt to explain it. Like, I'm obviously
Yeah.
not an expert, but so because of the way that like DNA so far has been observed to be with like the I only know their acronym, sorry, but the ACGT proteins, I think,
Mm-hmm.
is that they're only like allowed to pair with their pair. They only have like one other one that they can do, which
Yeah.
is
Explain.
which kind of models a binary system, which is obviously what we use for computing right now.
Mm-hmm.
So theoretically, so theoretically, you can take that and use it to model the binary system that we have.
Yeah.
And a group has actually managed to store data on bacteria, which is kind of weird to think about. But
A little odd.
they stored a GIF in the like in the DNA of a bacteria, and were actually able to like read it with a 90% accuracy, which is pretty impressive, actually.
Yeah. What do you think about what it is after all? Data on bacteria.
Yeah.
So.
Um, but supposedly, now I'm not sure how accurate this is, or if this is just some theorist wacko talking out of his butt. But supposedly, um, a tier or not a tier, a raindrop size DNA computer would have more power than all of our current computers combined, like in the world.
Yeah. That's when you got me like, I don't know about that. Like, see, here's the question. Do
And
they mean like
and I think
computing
it's
power? Hold. Do they mean computing power as in like CPU power, or do they mean like computing power as in like storage capacity? Because our DNA obviously is an incredible amount of data in a very small amount, and so are they saying like you might have storage of like the whole world in like a raindrop, or like computing power is like the real question?
yeah. See, I don't know. I mean, the article that I read alluded that it was computing power.
Okay.
But I think it just has to do with the fact that like DNA is just so dense. Like there's
Yeah.
oh shit, I'm the last one alive with this dude.
Nice.
Oh, it feels bad.
Dude, hit a shot.
Feels real bad.
Wow. For those of you listening, you just got clapped.
Um. Yeah. So I don't know about DNA computers. Obviously, I'm not going to give a time frame for that sort of thing. But what is nuts to think about is that, like, if we ever do hit that point,
Mm-hmm.
our own bodies are practically computers. At that point, we've mixed technology and biology at such a level that it's like unfathomable to think about.
Yeah.
Because at that
Yeah, it's
point, I mean, like, what's to say that at that point we don't know what like actually drives the human consciousness, and we can transfer that nonstop and just continue to be in like a computer that's actually not a computer because it's biological. It's like it's really
No. So what you're saying is we live in a simulation.
yeah.
No. Yeah.
But it's,
Honestly, that's
it's
something I'm looking forward. That's honestly something I'm looking forward to, though. The point where we get so advanced, we can build a simulation that's actually like a very good representation of the real world. And
yeah,
then see
and
what happens. That'd be crazy.
supposedly we can never hit that point because, well, okay, actually, there's a couple theories on this. I've looked into this a little bit. Not saying that like I'm all into like the simulation theory of things because I'm not, but
Yeah.
it is like kind of interesting to think about, like the possibility.
Oh, yeah, for sure. It's very.
It's interesting to think about the possibility that we are actually in some super being's computer, just going about our shit while they watch for entertainment. You know,
Hope this is good quality content for them, not you guys.
They're watching us play a game. You know, they're watching me play a game of me playing a game. So it's whatever.
Yeah, it's pretty meta.
Yeah, it is meta, and so. But like one of the things with, oh yo, what? How is this even happening? One of the things with that theory is that like they say, oh well, it's not possible for a computer to accurately model the universe that we can observe, but one of the things about observing is that thing right there is that like it is possible if you think about the fact of like you only have to render, so to speak, or compute what is actively being observed.
Technically, I mean, you do and you don't, because you still have to like, okay, for example, let's say we're not staring at like all the comets going around the solar system, right? They're still moving.
Well, yeah, but
their orbits are still happening. You still have to calculate that,
right? But think about, yeah, but that's technically still being observed. We know about it. So, see what I'm saying though? Like, what about the comets that we don't know exist? Do they still exist? Which kind of harken back to all the way to like, oh, if a tree falls in the forest, doesn't make a sound. You know what I mean? Like,
well,
if we can't observe it, is it actually there?
True. Okay. So I guess I know what you mean. Like, if it's not, I guess when you say
if it's ever observed,
yeah, if it's ever observed, then it becomes essentially in the memory of like the computer, so to speak. So if it's never been observed, then there's no need to worry about it.
Because accurately making a simulation for our universe with our like current knowledge of computing is not possible, because it would take more, I think, memory for the computer than there are atoms in the observable universe.
That's a bummer.
So that's the main driving fact that they use to like disprove the simulation theory. But like I said, I mean, it could be the case that we just don't see what's not there, or you know what I mean? Like, we can't observe it if it's not there, or whatever you want to say.
Yeah, like if it's never been observed, then they don't need to like calculate anything about it until we do get to the point where like we would start seeing that, so to speak. If that makes sense.
Yeah.
Like, yeah. You're gonna get clapped. Oh, got him. Good. Got him. Yeah. So the simulation thing's pretty crazy to think about. Just in general.
Yeah.
Yeah. If you ever get to that point, it's gonna be like insane. Because then you could just run so many simulations about like the world in the past, you know, and then study like what kind of decisions, like if they would have made different choices, what would have happened, you know, like in wars and stuff like that. Oh, what if they did this? What if like D-Day didn't happen, or failed? You know, like what would have happened to the world? It would be, you know, it could be a completely different world.
Yeah.
For example, you know, like that'd be some crazy stuff. You could go back and like see what would occur. Yeah. We got anything else? We're at 7:21.
This actually went a lot faster than I realized.
Yeah, we're almost there. We're getting pretty close. I mean, I think it's about time for a merch plug.
Oh, it's never a bad time for a shameless merch plug.
That's what I'm thinking. It's time for a merch plug.
And sadly, my lag shirt has not arrived yet. It should be here for the next episode, but
Matt Bummer, dude.
A shirt which you can buy at lag.show/store.
Yes.
Got shirts, hoodies, fucking sweatpants, laptop cases, phone cases. We've gone over this before.
Notebooks, everything.
Yeah, everything.
I'm sure there's something like there. Mugs, whatever.
I mean, sure.
If there's nothing that you want on there, I don't know what to do, man.
Yeah, there's a lot of stuff there, so go check it out. Buy one of each. You know, you got to see what you like. Buy one of each.
Gotta get the collection. Gotta get the collection.
Yeah, the entire lag collection.
Yeah, there you go. Oh man.
Let's see what else. Just a normal outro. Catch us, catch us, catch us every Friday at 6:30 on Twitch. The videos go live or are supposed to go live the following week on Friday. On YouTube, Losing All Games.
Yep.
Follow us on Twitter, like us on Facebook. Yeah.
Yeah, all the stuff.
Have a good one.
Yep. See you guys.